Welcome back, beautiful brave hearts. It's Lorraine here and Sandra May, and we are doing the Perfect Day Lifestyle and Nutrition Q&A. Your questions matter. You matter. So get on and get your questions into the under this so that we can answer any questions that you have. And it doesn't necessarily have to be on the products that we're talking about. It can be on anything involving that perfect day lifestyle. Sandra, do you want to add anything?
Absolutely. Hello, everybody out there in Braveheart world. I am obviously pretending that I'm at the beach. It is very hot where I am, but I am missing that moist heat from Ixtapa. So we just want to come out and say hello. How are you doing? The DACA Detox gals are here to cover your butt when it's summer out. Maybe you've got your skin already burnt. Maybe you need some help. No matter what it is, we're here to help you out. So I'm sure there's some of you with a phone sitting beside a pool or at the lakeside. So here we are to help you out with your perfect day lifestyle and nutrition live Q&A. Where are we going to start today, my Lorraine?
Okay, so we are going to start with the ionic calcium. So just give me a second to bring up that slide.
Yes, the ionic calcium is so very important. It's going to help you with so many different things, right? The signaling of calcium in the body is the most important signaler in your body. And I like to always teach kind of simple information, even though this product can do very technical things. And there's even advanced protocol. There's even really souped up versions of the calcium ionic therapy for people that are dealing with those third and fourth stage inflammations. But let's go back to the beginning. Your ionic signaling of calcium is the most important signaler in your body. If you take a multi-mineral or a multivitamin, you take it in and you don't have the proper amounts of calcium ionic there or calcium ionic signaling of calcium, pardon me, guys, then your body's not going to know what to do with that multi-mineral, multivitamin. There we go. We've got our lovely slides up now, and you can see the variety of products there. This is the only version of the calcium ion delivery system. Here we go. It can reverse over 147 degenerative diseases. 120 hormonal and chemical processes per second should be happening in your body. But if you don't have the proper amount of the proper level of ionic signaling in your bottom, how many of those 120 processes per second do you think are happening? Not quite so many. It's going to repair and build stronger bones. It's going to clear up body-wide calcification. It's going to restore nerve function, decalcify and restore mitochondrial health, increase oxygen levels in the body, and strengthen your immune system overall. So this is, you can see lots of different products there, but this is, like we said, the best product for virtually every person alive to make sure that your ionic signaling of calcium is up where we need to be. Lorraine?
So what happens when it's not? It is because of the inflammation in the body. And when there's inflammation in the body, your body actually pulls calcium from the nearest bones or teeth to buffer down where that inflammation is. But the body also creates crystallization there because it's going to support that area to make sure that that inflammation doesn't happen. So it keeps pouring in the calcium from the bones or teeth because the inflammation is carrying on. And before long, you've got blocks in the body. So a block is where there is a mass or crystallization, calcification, or scar tissue, and it is stopping the blood flow, lymphatic flow, that spark of life getting to that area. And we know that inflammation is caused from that pooping in your pelvis. You know, how many people do we hear have slipped discs? And they wonder, why is that happening? Well, it's because your body is pulling from those discs. It's pulling the calcium from there to buffer down the inflammation in the pelvic area. I mean, that's why we get incontinence. That's why, you know, we have a plethora of inflammatory dysfunction in the pelvic area happening, is because of the inflammation and the body having to grab that calcium from the bones or teeth. So definitely you want to check out the calcium ion therapy, and you can go to DACA-detoxlibrary.com, and there is the calcium ion therapy science, where bridging science and nature. Now you can see there's a number of different calcium ions there. So the Merigen is actually the strongest one. It addresses the entire body. So generally, when you are starting the calcium ion therapy, that's the one we like to see you on for at least 3 to 6 months. Generally, you'd be taking 2 doses a day. It has to be on an empty stomach. So a lot of people that would be the first thing they take in the morning. You're going to shake up that bottle, and there's a little scoop, which is 5 mLs, that's a teaspoon, and you're going to put that into 16 ounces of structured water preferred. And then drink that within about 10 minutes, because these are ions and they're going to start escaping into the air, and we want them in the body, not floating around in the air. Sandra, do you want to talk about one of the other ones?
Yeah, I just like to talk about the individual ones. Your Merigen, which is showing at the front, is definitely going to give you the best cost-benefit ratio. Then the next one is called Alzagen, which you'll see in the back of that screenshot. It's got some very unique components made especially for the brain. So those are 2 kind of the real top ones that we deal with. The Merigen, just because it's giving you that best cost-benefit ratio. The next weakest below Alzagen is the Cartigen, and then the Dentagen. The Megagen is basically for people who are in optimal health and they just want to make sure that that ionic signaling is still remaining to be functioning in their body. And then there is an Ozo Junior for our small tykes, our 12 years and old and younger, anyone who's concerned about their child perhaps not developing correctly or not as much or as well as they would like. Anyone 12 and older, you might as well just purchase the Merigen, and then we'll just figure out the dosing and just lower it based on their pounds, right? So the Merigen's based on the assumption that you're a 150-pound adult. If you have a 100-pound 12 or 13-year-old, which is maybe possible, I'm just using nice round numbers, you're going to use 2/3 of the dose for your child. So this is kind of something that's very important for every single one of us. And I do try to make sure I get my 2 doses in during the day. Lots of people do tend to take 1 dose a day, but you know what? It's going to take a lot longer for you to notice those benefits. So if you're going to make the investment in the Merigen because your self-love and self-care is that high for yourself, then keep that commitment there and take those 2 doses a day. Give it 3 or 4 months and then do a little reassessment from there. But I definitely really strongly advise you're going to spend the money on the calcium ionic therapy, getting this miracle product into your body, then do yourself a favor and take it twice a day. Yeah.
The Dentagen is all about the bones in the jaw and the teeth. So a lot of people, like if you've had a tooth extracted and you're going to get an implant, this would be a reason that you would want to be on the Dentagen. If you are prone to cavities or gum disease, this is another reason why you'd want to be on the Dentagen. And I have heard lots of testimonies on people who are doing actually both the Merigen and the Dentagen. Because quite often the person who needs the Merigen also has problems with the teeth. I remember talking to a lady, and she had incontinence for 20 years, and she started the Merigen twice a day, the same time that she started using the Avicen. And she called up about a month later when she was reordering her next Merigen, and she said, I am so happy. I don't have to get those Depends anymore. You know how much money I spent on Depends over the last 20 years? And it's gone. You know, those are the things that happen when you start to honor your body and understand what it needs.
Absolutely. And for those of you that like the details and like those fine print things, jump into our library, docofdetox.com, or the link that shows on this screen, docofdetoxlibrary.com. Both those links will get you there. Start your own account with simply your name, your email address, and create your own password. And there is tons of information in there. There's information about how it's going to help your fast work better, how different dosing for different situations. And in there, you're going to find a spot where just exactly what Lorraine said, how you can do one Merigen dose and one Dentagen, or two Dentagen and one Merigen, or two Merigen and one Dentagen. It gives you all sorts of information in the library in those documents. So there's lots of information in there for you to geek out on if that's your pleasure. The only other thing I can think of is what Jay Lee shared on one of our practitioner trainings is that, hey, if you have access to a doctor that had a little bit of research courses, information that they took while becoming a doctor, then this information will just make sense to them. A plain everyday MD that sees and takes care of, absolutely everything else, they might not have the knowledge base to understand the power of this. But if your doctor or a specialist that you might be seeing has any sort of research in their education, they will see the information that we provide and it will make sense to them right away. And they'll say, yes, this is a good idea. So it's just not everybody has the education to understand it. And for us here at Doc of Detox, we like to try to keep things on street level so that absolutely everybody can understand what we're talking about and where the power is in this product for you.
Another story that I've heard a couple of times now is moms calling in because their son isn't as tall as he should be compared to the norm. And getting, depending on how old that child is, either the Oslo Junior or the Merigen, probably more the Merigen, and just cut down the amount according to the weight. But it's going to get those bones growing like they should, because that's what it does.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got the chat group is lit up, Lorraine. So we're very happy. We know last week Ixtapa had a few issues with power, so we lost a few people there. But one question from our dear practitioner friend Rose. She's got one about moringa oil, and we'll maybe come back to that later on. But her question to do with the calcium ionic therapy is, does Dentagen improve or benefit receding gums?
You bet it does. Yeah, you bet. And everything to do with what's going on in the mouth is the Dentagen. You bet.
Right on. And that goes back to the basic concept of if there's trouble in River City, if there's trouble in the bloodstream and there's lots of amount of acidity, then the body will perhaps try to pull some calcium from the teeth structure and maybe put it into the gums because that's where the blood flow is going to be. So all sorts of different situations that could be happening. And the calcium ionic therapy is going to go to where that ionic signaling is off, restart it, and help move that displaced calcium back to where it should be.
Yeah. Well, no other questions on it?
No other questions on the product. Thank you so much, Rose. She's posting a few things, and it is spelled DENTIGEN. So that is wonderful.
So we've got another slide here that shows better what all of them are. And when we've got the nebulizer there, when you nebulize this, this is probably the best way for it to get deep into the body. So if you have stage whatever inflammation, you should be nebulizing it too, because that's going to get into the lungs, into the behind the eyes, into the brain. It is going to do its work that much better. So nebulizing it. Now, if you're nebulizing the ionic calcium, and generally that would be the Merigen, you would want to do it on its own. You're not going to mix that with anything. So, and we've got a picture of a portable mesh nebulizer. You can get those on Amazon. I wouldn't get the cheapest one and probably wouldn't get the most expensive. I'd go, part way and then nebulize as if you're addicted to it. I've talked to people who've had lung issues, and this is changing it. This is giving them their life back when they start nebulizing the Merigen. Do you have any?
Yeah, Rose is also putting another question on. My dentist wants my wisdom tooth pulled because it's starting to decay, apparently. Will Dentigen reverse this? And you know what? There's no way for us to say yes or no because we don't know how bad off that tooth is. But I would definitely put the investment in and keep my teeth and everything there the way they should. So I definitely would do it. I would add in some of the swishing with the silver bullet gel, the black diamond, some essential oils, maybe even a dab of the C60 to help really keep the condition of everything around that tooth in good condition. And I would just take massive personal action. So, yeah.
And Rose, even doing some oil pulling, using some castor oil and with the healthy mouth, mix the two together and do oil pulling. And that's going to help to get that tooth back to being healthy also. So there's a lot of different things that you can do.
Right. And just like Lorraine said, we can see the full products there. So Merigen, Alzagen, Dentigen, Cartigen, Megagen, and Ozo Jr.
All right, next slide. So this is the product that brings the thunder down. This is our stealth glucose ionic calcium. And this was brought out specifically for people who were in a critical situation. This is like a Trojan horse going in. So what they've done, well, they've wrapped it somehow in sugar, from what I understand. And
side is glucose. That's right.
Yeah, and then that is what mutated cells feed on. And then as soon as it gets into the cell, that ionic calcium gets to it, and that cell is gone. Yeah.
It tricks the cell with that coating of the glucose so that those cells that are looking for the high sugar content will just gobble it all up, and it'll get right inside the cells that should not be there, that are duplicating without reason. And so it just sort of tricks it. It's just like a little candy coating, just enough to trick it, get the basically the same technology, just in a souped up way, right inside, so that there's no way that those cells aren't going to fully consume the calcium ionic therapy. So this is just the advancement, and this is shows the dedication of Dr. Jay Lee to taking this very powerful technology and making sure they keep advancing it and improving it. So we've definitely got really fabulous vendors. And of course, that is all attracted by Dr. Darrell Wolfe and his high high potency and high vibration spirit himself. Let's just read through this. The most powerful product for critical care. You do need to be on the massive personal action. This isn't take a product and have everything go away. You are stepping into the driver's seat, no doubt about it. You would have access to Dr. Gerald Wolf to get your feet under you and get understanding this. It can enter this cancer cells with ease and destroy the cancer cells. It converts an abnormal cell back into a normal cell. It is pure and non-toxic product. It is easy to take. It's the same format as the others, in the water on an empty stomach, and it is lightning speed delivery. So this is the premier top product if you're willing and have to take massive personal action to take care of your 3rd and 4th stage inflammation.
Yeah, and if you want to check it out, go to the library. So docofdetoxlibrary.com and look up Stealth Glucose.
Absolutely.
The next thing we have up here is the Tesla glasses. And, we don't really understand how harmful all these LED lights are that have the blueness in them. We are bombarded by this LED light. I mean, it's in our homes, it's in our cars, it's the dash, it's the headlights, it's the street lights, it is in the schools, it's in the stores and the malls and the airports, it's everywhere. And it is very blue light poisoning. I challenge you, look up blue light poisoning and see what you find out. So these are the Tesla glasses. So the Tesla glasses actually have the same molecule as the C60. That's what they're made from. So these Tesla glasses are the only eyewear that transforms harmful light into healing light. It's going to help heal the eyes and heal the brain, enhance concentration and memory, optimize decision making, reduces stress and anxiety, improves mood, improves eyesight and energy level, eliminates eye fatigue. And I can definitely attest to that. Doing these shows, we normally don't have them on. But if I'm in front of my computer but working, I've got my Teslas on. And yes, it makes a huge difference in the way that I'm able to do the work that I'm doing and the amount of work that I get done even. You don't have that brain fog. Just look up blue light poisoning and see what we're talking about.
Absolutely. I work on sorry, Lorraine, you're maybe going to keep talking. I work on a computer all day long, and this saves my eyes and saves my brain. And so I can, and I know sometimes maybe I've just gotten busy and I've not worn them because you kind of forget after a while. You've been taking care of yourself so much, and then all of a sudden they get into a different pocket or something. Well, at the end of the day, I know that I have not worn my Tesla Lightwear. And when do we get away from it, right? So it's summertime now and I'm out in the yard, but lots of times you come home and then you're going to try to catch up on some training. So you're logging back on and you're watching more videos in the evening. So this definitely takes care and makes sure that blue light poisoning doesn't get into my brain through the eyes. And I can count on my eye condition to not get any worse. I do wear glasses most of the time. So this is definitely helping my body for sure.
And you know what? Right now, I mean, just look at our young kids. They are on their devices all the time. And there are more teenagers now being diagnosed with cataracts than any time ever before. And you're kind of, most people would say, oh my gosh, what's wrong with their eyes? Well, it's not what's wrong with their eyes. It's the blue light poisoning coming in through the eyes and putting a flame on the brain. And the brain says to the eyes, we got to shut this down. So that's what they do. It creates cataracts. Like, this is a serious problem. And, you can be outside too and wearing your Tesla glasses, and it will make sure that any damaging light from the sun isn't coming in. It also, a lot of people will wear sunglasses out in the sunshine. And most people aren't aware that when we block our eyes from that sunlight hitting the eye, it stops the body from absorbing vitamin D, the natural vitamin D from the sun. So there's another reason to have the Tesla glasses, because it's going to enhance anything coming in.
Right. And you know what? This, to me, this is a case in point of we've been disconnected from our body. This blue light therapy comes in, our eyes are tired, we're having trouble thinking, and yet we've just slowly over time just lost connection with ourselves so that we're not listening. So then, like Lorraine said, the body has to go, hey, my person doesn't understand what this burning in the eyes and this inability to think actually means something, and they should be paying attention and deciding where it comes from. So the body has to defend itself, and it will always act in its best interest to, right? If the operator is not going to pay attention and make a change, then the body will have to do something. It doesn't always work out to be, could cause some other problems like the scar tissue, right? Is as a cataract is going to impede your eyesight. But it's kind of like the lesser of two evils. So we need to, in any way, shape, or form, we need to reconnect. We need to start listening to our body again and start listening to that inner spirit that's trying to say, hey, this little habit, this needs to change. That little habit over there, that needs to change.
Yeah.
We do have Leonard is back. I'm so happy to see Leonard. He was here 2 weeks ago, and he is our rock star. I do believe he's just taken the courses in Florida, I believe. He was talking about the ultimate coffee enema, was he not? Or maybe it was something else, but we were awful proud of Leonard last time he was on. Maybe that was the fasting. Anyways, we do have a couple of other questions, so I think maybe we better just take time to answer them.
Yeah.
Because yeah. So let's see. Let's go back. Rose had a question about moringa oil. Here we are. What are the uses for moringa oil? And I know moringa itself is jam-packed with nutrition. And so in an oil, it is great to be used on any skin conditions. Lorraine, what can you add to the conversation about moringa oil?
There's any skin conditions. Your skin loves this oil, and it is because it's so jam-packed with nutrition. That's about it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Anything skin related? That's wonderful. Okay. The other question is from Kim. Hello, Kim. Happy to see you here. What do you recommend for anemia? Restoring iron levels.
I would say that you'd want to be on that perfect day protocol and detoxify the body, because quite often your receptors are being blocked, and then your body just won't absorb it because the receptors are blocked with heavy metals usually. So, just the black gold, the black diamond, the daily cleansing tea, those would be the ones.
Wonderful, Lorraine. Thank you very much. Kim sends hello and hugs. And Leonard, wonderful. Yes, Leonard says, yes, I was there for both courses. I am now a New World practitioner. That's wonderful. Okay, love, where do we want to go from Teslas? Or do you think is there more conversation to be had there?
No, I think we hit all the important things. Yeah.
Okay.
So I'll let you take away this one.
Absolutely. We love these products, and sitting and working in the Canadian warehouse, of course, we've got quite a few around us, and it's a very peaceful place, even though we've got a lot of computers running. And there's, especially when we talk about the smaller bodyguards that we actually wear, they're handmade and each one is a little bit unique. And so some of them are quite filled with colors. Other, it's just lightly kind of brushed in somehow. And so they are very unique. And we just love them. So this is going to help protect you from the negative frequencies. It is distributed with the colors of the spectrum. It is infused with vitamins, strengthened with minerals, saturated with amino acids, steeped in enzymes, and infused with pure oxygen. It is made in pristine European crystal. And this is really unique technology. This is radionics. And so it's going to use the energetic grid of the earth, and it's going to pass this information to us on the other end where they essentially charge the crystals. They are always constantly updating them. And so you can just know that as soon as you purchase one, any updates, it is just magical in a sense, and it uses the magnetic field of the globe, and it will send out information to these individual crystals and update them. So no matter where you are on the globe.
Yeah. When I was in Ixtapa, I dropped mine. I don't know if you can see, but I got one of the Mexican jewelers down there to fix it, encase it in silver, because the only thing that broke was the loop. And I talked to Peter, and he said, yeah, no problem in doing that, because I was concerned that might disrupt something. And he said, no, not at all. It's all good. So if you've dropped it and it's just the loop that's been broken, you can, take it to a jeweler and get them to do something with it. I know when I was in Ixtapa too, I had one of my coworkers work on my, actually she did a heart release for me. And she came to my apartment, and that morning I had made some lentil soup. So she worked on me. The lentil soup was still simmering in the pot while she was working on me. And my crystal was off to one side because I was lying on my back, right? When she was done, my crystal came back to the center of my chest. And then I asked her if she wanted to have some of this lentil soup. She said, sure. I got a jar, I ladled it out. And then when I handed it to her, my pendant swung away from my chest, and there was an indent where the pendant was. So the swelling from having the non-surgical done was already being taken care of. And that was in a matter of maybe 5-10 minutes. It wasn't that long. We had a little conversation while I was, ladling it into the jar. I handed it to her, and she took a picture, said, holy smokes, look at that. So these things work. And
absolutely.
So we've got the bodyguards, and then we've got the house protectors. That's the smaller egg-shaped crystals. And then the Defender is the blue-shaped crystal. It's for like a mansion or a church, something like, or an office building. And then there's the Guardian, the green one, which is more for an acreage.
Absolutely.
And isn't there a sale on right now?
There is a sale on right now. It'll show up once you put it into the cart. And there'll be different percentages for the quantities that you order. I do believe if you order one piece of the collection, it's 30%, 2 pieces, 40%, and 3 pieces, 50%. So you might as well take advantage and get some. I like wearing, I have the children's size blue. To me, it's like a sea green, and I just love wearing it. And I just, again, I've been trying to learn to connect with my body. So in the morning, usually I'll wear it, but sometimes in the evening I'll end up just taking it off. And in the morning I'm checking in with myself, and I'll quite often look over at my little table beside my bed. Nope. I'm putting my bodyguard back on. I definitely felt like it helped calm my body down. And I definitely do crave to have it on my body. So I take that as information that I need whatever this is delivering into the body. I need whatever codes I'm getting off of the radionics, and all, like they said, the enzymes, the amino acids, the minerals, the vitamins, and everything that they have in there to help protect us from these negative frequencies that are everywhere. So we've had a couple more comments. Angel Medina, hello, happy to see you. I talk to you on the phone a lot there, Angel. Hello, he says. And I really love my Tesla glasses, Angel pipes in. So thank you. Thank you very much for adding in your comments, Angel. That really helps. Let's see. Let's just give me a minute to scroll back. Okay. Kim commented again about the anemia. I've lost a lot of blood and an iron transfusion is recommended and an iron supplement. It's going to be totally up to you whether you do an iron supplement. If your body is not able to absorb the iron, do you think taking an iron supplement is going to work? Is that going to, my take would be to let's get the body back working in a better condition where it's able to absorb things in. Also take a look at the iron supplement. Is this actually in a nutritional format, or is it simply coming in, something similar to a heavy metal format? And that's maybe not the right wording, right? But we need to take in these components that are in a nutritional format that are easy for the body to break down. So that's kind of my take. You're going to have to make your own decision there. Kim, do you have any comments, love?
Yes. You know what? If I were you, I would have a conversation with Dr. Daryl Wolf. Give him a call. You're going to phone 1-855-900-4544 extension 5, or the number on WhatsApp, and right in my head right now, I can't remember it. Do you remember what it is?
Absolutely. Yep. You can reach Dr. Daryl Wolf directly at 469-861-8884 is his direct line.
There you go. There you go. That's what I would be doing.
Yeah. Okay. Can we do another question, Lorraine?
You bet.
Annie says, does the structured vessel take the chlorine out of the water? It's not going to take the chlorine out of the water, love. It's going to actually deactivate it. Under a microscope, you will still technically see the chlorine molecule there, but it has been nullified. And the verbiage that we use is it's wiped clean the cellular memory of the water. And so we know this is true because nature proves it to us. When rainwater comes down on us, or water that flows over rocks in a river gets naturally structured because the water molecules are banging up against each other, it nullifies everything in that water, right? We know there's lots of heavy metals in the system. We know that when people urinate and they've been taking medications, teeny bits of it is still in the urine. So we know our whole water system has been infiltrated by metals from all different sources in all different ways. But that natural structuring of the water makes it perfectly clean and nullifies everything, right? So if it didn't, and we had a rainfall, would the grass perk up? Would the flowers perk up? Everything would be hurting if the natural structuring didn't happen. And the unit that we use mimics nature, and it simply moves some of the water left to right and the rest of the water right to left, or whatever the opposite is there, right? So our unit is perfectly mimicking nature and simply moving the molecule to create that structuring in the water. So I hope that's an answer. And the answer is yes and no.
And just know that water has the ability to carry more information in it than your computer. Yes. Yes. So when it is structured, it wipes out all of the negative.
Right
So,
on. Yep.
So anybody who touched it, and everything is about frequency, right? And that's what it's doing. It's working on that frequency. It's getting rid of the negative frequency. And like Sandra said, that molecule is still there, but it doesn't register. So it goes in one end and out the other. So a lot of people, will still take their water and put it through some kind of like a Brita or something like that to get those kind of things out, because that chlorine, was it the chlorine she was asking about?
Specifically said chlorine. Yeah.
Yeah, that would take that out, but you don't have to.
Yeah. So you're just saying a filter is going to take physical things out of the water is basically what I'm taking from what you're saying.
But we want to be careful that we're not taking everything out of the water, like reverse osmosis or distilled water, because now it's not hydrating the body. It doesn't have minerals. We want minerals.
Right on. Good job. Okay. Thank you, Rose, for posting that sale. You are right. It's not really called a patriotic sale, but close enough. It's the Patriot sale. You won't see the crystals listed on that. It is just a promotion running in the background. And like I said, you won't see the deal on the crystals until you put them into the cart. And today is actually our Flash Wednesday sale. And that was Lemon Lift, Immunity, and Beyond Beauty Mist. And I better just double check my list and I'll come back to you. But it was any size of the Immunity. It was only the 30 mil and the 10 mil of the Lemon Lift, and the Beyond Beauty Mist. Those were on our flash sale for this Wednesday, and that was 45%. So jump on there and get a part of that flash sale on Wednesdays. And Annie, hello Annie, I'm pretty sure we've talked to you before. So should I use distilled water or reverse osmosis water? You know what, love? We're good with using distilled water if you need to mix it with something and you need something perfectly clean to mix it with, like the iodine if you need to mix it. But for just plain old drinking, we don't really recommend you use either distilled water or reverse osmosis water. They're not nature's water. Nature does not provide us with either of those kinds of waters. So we don't really recommend we consume either one of those.
Anything else out there? Or is that it?
Nope. We're up to date, love. We can keep on checking. Thank you, Big Hearts.
The last slide that I've got here on products, and I thought that this one was an important one because some of our new people don't even know about this beautiful, the world's largest self-help, self-care library.
We've just got 3 minutes and then we have to keep on going. So pardon me, I missed the 35-minute mark there for you.
Okay. Well, I knew we were getting close.
Yeah.
So I encourage you to explore in the DocaDetoxLibrary.com and start, maybe look at it's not A to Z wellness, it's reverse the irreversible, and check out the conditions that you have, or maybe you want to look through the perfect day information, or the ionic calcium, or medical mafia. How did we get into this situation? And then the domino effect of normal living, which isn't normal. It isn't normal. Like, there's so much information there. And if you wanted to learn more about how to do an advanced water fast, you can look up that. Tons.
Yeah, there's so much in the library, guys. Dive in. Any of those titles are worth your time. Just pick one that you're most connected to and just dive in. And also, as soon as we get our app up, you're going to have access to everything in our app. So yeah, maybe let's just chat about what else is going on. There's always the Doc of Detox 5-star retreat for anyone who wants to go down for personal treatment and trainings. Dr. Darrell Wolfe will be heading to Australia in another just under a week's time to do some lecture series and the full course load of New World Practitioner, new whole life coach, New World. My tongue is just going crazy here in the last couple seconds. Whole life coach, Wolfe Non-Surgical, in Australia. So, and I know we've got some Canadians going down there to get their master practitioner certificates. So, yay to Trish and her husband David Seidler. They're heading down there to dig one more. And I think we're pretty close to having to wrap up. Any other thoughts, Lorraine?
My slides are not moving, so let me see. So I kind of think we're just going to have to wing this part.
Yeah. All right.
So just know that Dr. Wolf is taking off shortly to Australia, where there is a ton of lectures that he's doing. You know, you can go to bhnuniversity.com or braveheartnation.com, click on lectures, and if you're Australian and you're close to one of these places, get your butt into one of these lectures. This is life-changing information. And you will not regret being in the crowd while this is going on, because you will feel the energy of Dr. Wolf and the people that are there. And, you know, sometimes you may be shy about asking questions, but somebody else asked the question that you wanted to ask. So you learn. You know, that's why we're doing these things, so that you can have a better understanding of how the body really works. So again, those lectures in Australia are happening just around the corner. So go to braveheartnation.com, get yourself signed up, and just know if you're in Australia, a lot of those lectures, the majority of the lecture is going to be live streamed too.
Absolutely. So we're just going to give you a wave and a sign off and say thanks, everybody, for being out there. Your questions are great. We love connecting with you. DACA Detox is here with you, either online, live for questions, on the toll-free line, or in our library, and eventually in our app. So we're going to sign off and say 3, 2, 1. Not wearing my bracelet, but 3, 2, 1.
We got this.
You got this. Take care, Bravehearts.
Love you guys.